All right, guys. Part 2 of the discussion for Two Twisted Crowns. If you joined us last week in the episode, we did just a real quick book review on our thoughts and our feelings of the book. I know for sure it is a repeat for me. I love the series. I thought the book was great. Obviously, just like with any books, there's some things that I wish were different or were added that weren't there. But overall, I thought it was an amazing book and a great series.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed both of them. Like I said before, I wish there was just something a little bit more at the end because I was left wanting.
Yeah,
But overall, it was a good duology.
same, same. I felt, uh, very satisfied with the way it ended in the aspect of like the overall story. I just felt like a certain character got shafted a little. So
Yeah,
now that we're in the discussion part, she
I
did my
know.
girl Elspeth dirty.
I know.
Did
And
her
did you
so
want to?
dirty.
I know.
Oh
I
my
just,
god, it kills me.
uh,
Like, I'm like, okay, so I went into the book knowing that she's not going to be in it in the same aspect as One Dark Window, correct? Like,
but you
we know this.
expected something like, I mean,
Well,
because something
you're
a little bit more, some sus. I
well, even
don't know.
like even the role she had throughout the book, I was happy with. It's totally
Yeah,
fine. I thought they were great. I thought it was neat how when she was first in her little prison world beach, whatever the hell we want to call it, she didn't know who she was. She didn't know anything. She was
yeah,
relearning these things and stuff. It was almost like an amnesia. Like, I thought that was really cool. And I thought it was great how she was kind of seeing the Shepherd King's like memories. But the minute that they united the deck, the minute they lifted curse or whatever you want to call it, why did we not get a reunion between her and Raven and her friends and family? But
well,
no, we get,
especially with the fact of
yeah,
his background, his true lineage,
yes,
and the fact that now she's back in this picture and she's herself, and there was like nothing.
no. It's like she seriously forgot that Elspeth was like the central character of the duology in essence, right? Without her, the story wouldn't exist. I mean,
Yeah,
we literally got Raven healing in the bed, Elm, Ione, and Emery saying hi, or no, sorry, not Ione, Jasper, like them all reuniting when he's waking up after, not dying. But no, we can't get a flippin' reunion of Elspeth and
not
her
even
family
in the
families.
epilogue, like nothing.
That's
It
what
was
made me
like
so mad. It's like,
it was
what happened?
like nothing at all.
Well, it's like, what happened when the nightmare left her? We got that. And I thought that was so sweet with the nightmare and her, like,
Yeah,
kind of saying their goodbyes. I thought that was really sweet.
but no,
Um,
it was.
it
That's
was,
good.
that
It's
was
it's
more than I
it's the
expected.
it's the after
Yes.
with the two of them who were pinnacle characters.
Yes. Well, I feel like, so it's like that one book that we tried reading, right? Where it went, the characters went from here to here, and you're like, but but how did you get from here to here?
Right.
How? Like, it's 2 weeks later. The epilogue is what, like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks
Well,
later,
because it was
something like
like
that?
you built it up to all this stuff, and then it's like, I don't know what else to put down, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to be done with it.
Yeah. I wanted to see Elspeth reunited with Raven. Like the Nightmare Leaver, she turns around, she's reunited with Raven. She goes, she sees Ione. She's now reunited with Ione, Elm, her aunt, like her dad. Like, what? I'm sorry, excuse my language. What the fuck? Like, why did
Yeah,
we not get that in the epilogue? Like, it could have been a part of
but
it, or it could have
I
been
felt
right before it.
right, where was like that this explanation of like connecting everybody's dots of like, look, this is how we really are. This is how things are going to go. This is what the new blender looks like. Let's
Yes,
go forward.
yes. I just, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. And that is literally the only thing that bumped it down from a 5 star for me was that.
It was the ending.
It was the ending. It was the fact that my girl Elspeth was done so dirty. We did not
Mm-hmm.
get that reunion. We really didn't get anything at the end. I mean,
No,
except for in the epilogue, oh, she's walking down and she sees in the tree line and she sees yellow. Yeah, it's called the fucking sun.
yeah. Which is
like, and they haven't seen it.
okay,
Whatever. I'm just like,
and then it
oh,
makes you think, okay, do you have some hidden meaning? Are you going to come up with some spinoff? Which, how would you even have a spinoff though with the original main characters? Like that just doesn't
yeah. I mean, I don't think
play out for me.
I mean,
I don't think she is. I don't think there's a plan for it. But
no.
it's just, it's like, you hear my name being called? Yeah, I am. You can.
Oh, Richiani's being called from her family. Okay.
Oh, I'm being beard.
Ah, your dad beard you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He's the real MVP
Is
here.
this your beer? Oh, it's good. Is it mine? Yeah. Thank you.
Pretty good, huh?
It is. It's pretty good.
You said
It's a car style.
you said mine now, regardless.
I know.
You're all dibs claimed.
I know. So my short story is my dad is making his own beer, so
Oh,
he bearded
nice.
me. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I'll have to try some.
So this
Actually, I
is
won't be able to try
the
some for like
Kolsch.
a year, but Sean can try some.
We have to work on his tapping though. Too much foam.
It's not that bad. I've seen worse. So, for those who aren't watching, if you're listening on a podcast service, Brittany's dad just came in and gave her some beer that he's been brewing. So,
It's good. It's really good. I could drink this. I told him his next batch has to be the beer that I really liked in Belgium, and it's like a coconut flavor. It's a blonde coconut beer, and I love it.
Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell him to perfect it now because I could have it in a year.
Oh no, for sure.
So,
but back to it.
So back to it, like the blunder with the lift, and you know how when they reunited the deck of the cards, and then there was one card that people can either touch to get rid of their stuff, but it kind of sucks that Elspeth can't touch the card to get rid of anything. I just like I swear she just got shafted the whole time, and
I know.
It makes me hurt for her, like, and you know, the Elm and Ione, I love that story, but let me get into this real quick because you know I texted my sister. I was reading the book. I said page 19. I sent her a text, page 19.
You called it, which I think we were anticipating.
Yes, I called it. I said Elm and Ione, they getting it on. They're going to be an item. So,
yep.
But I kind of sensed something would be brewing with them in the first book because of how they like looked at each other or interacted. And I knew something sinister was going on with like her still being under the maiden card. Like that it wasn't a choice. And when the second book came out,
well, especially knowing her personality before, it's way out of character.
Exactly. Extremely out of character. So learning what Hoth did to her, boiled my
especially
blood.
Throwing her out the window.
He threw her out the fucking window to kill her. Sorry, guys, for my language.
He stabbed her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He stabbed her in the heart, right? Like, oh, this poor girl. I mean, and you know, of course, she was blinded in the first book of, you know, thinking like, hey, like, you know, maybe he's really a good guy, this and that. She learned really fast. No, he's not a good guy. He's honestly a piece of shit. I mean, he kills his own
he was worse,
dad.
but I mean, even his dad realized it towards the end.
Oh, his dad realized it way too late. His dad realized it when he was dying.
And then he was like, but speaking of that part, since we're there, when he's dying and he passes the card to Elm, it's like, oh, here's the son you should have been doing this with this whole entire time. Your heirs this whole entire time. Now you want to pass it to him. What he should have done when he had stolen the room was have them go after Hoth at that point in time.
Right? Okay, so here's like, there's so many things, like the dad, the king, right?
Yeah.
He messed up with the ways he raised his sons. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, Elm did not like the brutality, so obviously he didn't go for it. But Hoth, like, the king is to blame. He raised his son to be that way. So with his death, I mean, bye, Felicia. You did it to yourself. Like,
he was his own reaper, essentially. I mean, this is
1000%.
I think that his fate was inevitable.
Oh yeah.
I
And I
mean,
mean,
that
it's actually a
poetic.
blessing, and it's a surprise that Elm ended up the way he did.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
But again, like he said, this is all because of his relationship and the connection that he had with the U House.
well, and his mother, right? I
Yeah.
think he truly loved his mother, and when she passed, it just kind of broke him. But yeah, the Elms, they helped raise him well. But with Hoth, like I'm wondering in the scene, when after Elm uses the nightmare card, why did he take it back to the room and drop it in the thing, especially in front of the douchebag?
Yeah.
Lyndon, I think his name was. Like, why? Why would
Well,
you
and
do
there's so
this?
many things like it could have. I mean, and maybe that was knowing. I don't know. It would just didn't seem as strategic as they normally were in the first book in how they did things and how sneaky they were. It seemed way out of step and messy.
Well, to back up here though, let's be honest. Raven was the one making the plans, not Elm. And it's really
Yeah.
clear why. Because Elm he's a sweet guy, but he doesn't think ahead. Like, he's not smart in that aspect that, like, let's think 10 steps ahead. He thinks he's in the moment, right? He might put a little plan together, but he's not thinking long term. Raven is thinking long term, right? He's looking into the future. Like, if I do X, Y, Z, will it lead here, here, or here? Okay, I'm going to go down the route that takes me there. Elm doesn't do that, and it is painfully obvious.
But you would think that even Ione in that situation with him together, them working together, that she would have been smarter about it, but also and had some stronger influence in how that happened.
Maiden card just laying in her room. Oh my god!
It's like you
lost it once. Don't do it again. Don't lose your
and
card.
you know
again.
that this fool isn't dead yet. Why would you do that?
Yeah, it just, to me, it was just. Yeah, I mean, maybe Elm and Ione really do deserve one another.
I mean, and here they are. They're going to rule this kingdom now.
They are super sweet. At the end of the day, they have a lot of heart, and they don't really have the brains. They have the heart, but not the brain.
I understand the whole ending, like, neither here nor there, something in between. But you could have had that same effect with Raven and Elspeth, because you would have been in the same exact place with people that had a little bit more up here for those things.
Well, I feel like that's what made Elspeth and Raven a good couple, is they think 10 steps ahead, right? They have been subject to be in these situations where they have to be careful. They have to be 10 steps ahead. Elm and Ione are blissfully unaware. They're like, I mean, and I don't want to say that Elma's not 100% unaware, but the dude's an idiot. I mean, if you think about it, he never caught the fever, so he doesn't have to worry about getting caught, like, in that aspect. He could just play, oh, I'm a dumb, naive prince, and yada, yada. I mean, and here you have Ione, who's just like, oh, well, yeah, I didn't know, batter eyelashes, type of thing, can play innocent and stupid. And I'm just like, oh, some of the things they did in the series, I was like, no, don't do that. And then they did it. I mean, it obviously worked out good in the end, which they made things more difficult than they needed to be. And they put themselves in these situations that they didn't need to be in.
No, they really didn't.
Like,
and I'm going to pull
should have kept the nightmare
reviews too.
Yeah, pull them up. Elm should have kept the nightmare card. I think that would have kept Hoth away. But then again, at the end, Hoth got what he deserved. He reaped what he sowed. That guy is like, he got
what he deserved this whole time, which was poetic innocence.
Those twin elders, they got a snack. They're getting a meal.
So, looking at reviews, right? Do you want to go 5-star or go with the 3 stars and up? Because this didn't get. Well, no, it looks like there was less than
So
No, it looks like there is one once.
let's go couple 5, 4, 3. Let's kind of go, or just pick some sporadic,
Well, let's start with the worst.
Okay.
Okay, we'll start with the worst and then we'll work our way up. I mean, I like doing that. You just go with it. Hang on.
Yeah. I kind of take reviews as,
I find them hilarious. So
they're so funny. They're so funny.
okay. Oh, this goes with what we were talking about. Elsbeth, my girl, they did you so dirty. I'm sorry. See?
Yes.
Couldn't care less about Elma and Ione, and this should have been a standalone.
Yes.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
I think it could have been split, and their story could have been a standalone or a spinoff. Okay. So with her on that, I don't think the book itself would have worked as a standalone. I think it could have been separated and become a standalone. Let's do another.
Well, with that, I like the Elma and Ione in the book because obviously she needed to have more to write about, right? But I don't think the epilogue should have been about them. I think it should have been about Elspeth.
100%, which take that section of it, take that part of it, create the spinoff or the standalone, whatever, move on. But totally agree with her. Mm-hmm. That kind of, did I like the book? Yes, I did. Am I happy with the way it went? Nah, not so much, because yes, she's right. They did her dirty.
They did her so dirty. Rachel,
let's see what this one says.
You need to come out with a chapter or two, like a little, oh, sorry guys, this is what really happened.
So this one, she said, I'm at 50%. Am I reading the same book here as everyone else? Like, actually, though, what am I missing? This duology was more confusing and vague than anything else. I spent most of the time retracing my steps, trying to figure out what happened and why. I wanted a gothic horror fantasy, which it's not going to be extreme gothic. If you read the first one, you know it's not going to be extreme like that. It's whatever. I can't really agree with that, but I spent most of my time retracing my steps. Let's see. So she does say that it got a little convoluted royal fantasy drama with a forest and lots of mist. It's not as cryptic as it was in the first one. I can see that.
Yeah.
But if you read the first one, you would have known it wouldn't have been extreme gothic horror anyways. Like it was never like that.
It's not even horror. Like,
no. It has a dark setting, aesthetic,
yes. It's not even gothic at this point, but some people might think it is, some people might not think it is what it is, but yeah, it's definitely not.
If you want a dark romance, if you're wanting the dark romance, something dark, then you need to go with stories more like Haunting and Hunting Adeline, things like that are a little on the darker end. Let's see. Here's a 4.25. Ugh, I love this duology so much. If you like the first book, you're gonna love this, which agree.
Mm-hmm.
I struggled so hard to write reviews for sequels. Let's see. Get to where it actually matters. Two Twisted Crowns is everything I wanted it to be and more. It feels more like a perfect progression for this duology. Everything I loved about One Dark Window was everything it was correct up. Okay. So I mean she liked it. It was everything that she was. I think
very few people were upset with the ending or
yeah.
I just know that's what disappointed me, especially when I know that this is the last of the series. Like, this is what wraps it up. But authors do that a lot. Like,
no, yeah.
Because, one of my favorite series is the Demigod series. And
the
way it ends, I'm like...
Which
like,
if you think about it, what we've talked about before on that is, I think she's kind of ramped up to something that might be giving us what we were missing at the ending of the other one. Yeah. Are we going to know if it does? I don't know.
Hers, I mean, it's like it's not bothering me so much because I know there's a spinoff from another character, so
Yeah.
we get an idea of what happened, but it's
I
still
would have
like,
just liked it to be from their point of view.
well, not even that. Like so, if we go to the demigods, like there's gonna be a spinoff, right? So we'll know more. But let's just say there wasn't. If there wasn't, it was a like where the hell's the rest of the book? Like, am I missing or
Yeah.
are some pages gone? Like, it does
Yeah.
not conclude in the way that you would hope that it would, or the way you would
Well,
expect
and
the
that's the
book
thing.
to.
And this is my biggest thing when things like that happens. It's either you are completely stumped and you're blank and you have nothing else to say, or you have too much to say and it would create a fourth book. And it to me,
Exactly.
if it is fourth book possibility, do it.
Hmm.
Just throw it in there.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're like, you don't know if you're going to revisit these characters, you might not, and you're kind of leaving a little open. That's fine. Um, with this series, The Shepherd King, like we know it's a duology, so there's not going to be a third book. So make sure that ending is super solid, right? That your readers are not going to be like, I'm missing out on something, because
Or
the
be
only thing,
disappointed.
yeah, because the only thing that's missing out is Elspeth
Yeah.
back in her body, seeing her dad again out of prison, right? Her dad, her family seeing her without yellow eyes and looking all crazy like a manic person. We didn't get
And
any of that.
and you know what character drove me crazy? Is Ione's father. I wanted, oh my gosh, he drove me insane.
I
I
want to
did
give
not
him a
have a,
high five in the face with a chair. I did
oh my
not like
gosh.
that man.
Oh my gosh. He just annoyed me, which I think is done on purpose.
I think,
How,
oh yeah, because we all know someone like that in real life. We all know that person that would stab you in the back for $5.
then
You
act
know,
like a damn pussy at the end.
yeah, and
Sorry.
oh, I didn't know that they would do that to you. I was just trying to do this. Oh, bullshit.
And then sit
So
there and pretend that you love them at the end.
yeah,
It's that whole, it's like, are you borderline personality, narcissistic?
I mean,
What's your
let's
issue
be
here?
honest. He basically sold his daughter for status. I mean, that's essentially what he did.
Mm-hmm.
He sold her in exchange for the nightmare card. Like, I mean, to
Yeah.
give it, he's like, okay, so, oh, you could have the nightmare card, but in exchange, my daughter gets to become queen, right? Like, so then I get
Yeah.
status because my
Which
daughter
is
is queen.
it's selfish reasoning. It's all personal gain about every, like, I mean, and then it talks about, you know, when he talks about how he got the nightmare card, and how he just saw somebody, he saw the card, so he killed the person and everything. And but then he turns around and he's this like weak little annoying man,
Yes.
which
Well, and I mean, sorry, but at the end of the day, she still ended up marrying a Rowan. you know, he didn't need to do that because Elm had his eyes on her regardless. So it was like,
yeah,
dude, what you just did was like, yeah, she may not have been queen, but she would have got status because she would have been, princess
yeah.
essentially. But
I what I
that's funny.
wanted to see a little bit more of too at the end was, how Elspeth and her father's relationship is now able to exist, and the
Yes.
other annoying people out of the
Yes.
picture.
Well, yeah, and the mother can't use the excuse, well, you're infected, so we don't want you around because we could get caught. Okay, bitch, what now? What
Yeah,
now?
exactly. Well, and then I'm looking at this. Let's see. I moved to 4 star.
Okay. Okay.
Let's move to 4 star because I could read. I just need to find a good one.
Sometimes I like to read the 1 stars and the 2 stars
Well,
because,
there really wasn't many. A
well, no,
lot.
but a lot of,
Everybody's loved the book except for the way that it kind of
yeah,
developed towards the end and how they did Elspeth.
if you notice on most books when they're like 1 and 2 stars, it's because
Mm-hmm.
people didn't like the style of the writing or the multi point of view, but not necessarily, not all the time is it the actual storyline. or like the
No,
actual
and that's the thing.
story.
Most people are actually saying that
It's a great story.
with this whole multiple POVs
Yeah.
really enhanced the way that it was told, and they actually
Yes.
like the fact that
100%.
happened.
100%. I honestly wish that the One Dark Window was a multi-point, because getting to know Raven's personality a little bit more, getting to know Ione's, even though you didn't really get to know Ione's too much, but you got to know Elms, right? You got to know some of the characters a little bit more, and it adds just a little bit of oomph, right? Like it's really into it.
So this 4-star review was, I mean, there's a lot to it, so I'm going to paraphrase. So she liked the way that it picked up and transitioned into the Twisted Crowns, and that it kind of picked up where it ended, which was nice because you're not going into this whole drawn out thing. And kind of, it started out a little bit slow, but if you notice in the first book, it had a much slower draw out than the second book did, I'm glad the second book did, because I have a really hard time with slow draw outs.
Yeah.
But she said this one had me hooked from the onset, and I couldn't put it down, which I know that's how you were too. You finished it super quick. It took me longer to get through, but that's just because
work.
I'm busy at work and with kids. What can I say? I'm in love with the first book, really enjoyed new POVs from the beloved side characters, and this was like a new romance to put down. Now, I will disagree that some people are saying that it's dark and romantic. Yeah, you have a little bit of romance in there, but it's not also really dark either.
No, I disagree with it being dark. I thought the first book was a little bit more dark, but I mean, not even like a centimeter. Like, to me, they were about equal footing. I felt like the whole vibe was the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, from the
I definitely think it's a really good fall read.
Yeah. So
it's not spooky, but it's folly.
Yeah. Oh, I love how the screen froze on you. Going.
So
What's
fantastic?
Wait,
I don't know. What'd you
finish it? Yeah.
I'm here, Dad.
Did you do that?
Pretty good, huh?
I don't know what that was. Did you see that?
I did see that.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know either, because you're the one in control.
I don't know. I've never seen that happen. You guys, those who are listening on the podcast, on the video, little balloons just started popping up, and that was not one of us. Obviously, we're still cities apart, so we're doing this on Zoom, and it must be a Zoom.
Which hopefully maybe we could do something next weekend with all three of us together. I'll have to coordinate and see what we can do, but that would be really fun.
We could definitely do something. But so one thing I want to get into about the books is, were you shocked or surprised that the Yu families were related to the Shepherd King? Because I thought that was pretty much established in the first book as like, hey, they might be. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty damn sure.
Yes and no. I mean, I think because I didn't reread it like you did, I was a little more surprised because you reread and you're probably picking up on subtle hints.
Yes. Especially when you read it the second time, you're like, oh, I didn't get that the first time.
Right. I didn't do that. So for me, it was a little bit more like, oh, yeah, like, okay. Yeah. But if I would have reread it, I probably would have picked up on the things that you were picking up on.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance to do that.
Well, he literally says in the first book, like, I think, we might be related to the Shepherd King. I mean, he literally says it.
And it's just because I forgot about that one little piece.
Well, because their home, their Castle Yu, is on the same property as the other castle ruins. Which, okay, I loved when Rachel like wrote in the past, like seeing, like writing about like what happened and knowing how the castles became ruined, but how much Brutus. Oh, I think his name was Brutus, right?
I think. Well, I think that this could easily be adapted to a TV series.
Maybe a mini series. It's
Well,
not.
not
It's
like
not
I'm not
long.
talking full series. No,
I'm talking
but
6 episodes max.
if free creativity was given where they were able to develop from where it left off and moved on, they could easily do that.
Yes. Oh, there could totally be something called Blunder. Easily.
Right.
Right. So
Mhm.
I just loved it. But I mean, think about how messed up it is that the first Rowan King killed little kids, killed the
Yeah.
Shepherd King's children. His daughter was the first, and she was the youngest. I mean, that is one evil bastard. Why?
Yeah.
Because he was upset that his wife, the Shepherd King's sister, died. Oh, okay. So you're just gonna kill your wife's nieces and nephews, and okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like, who the fuck does that?
Yeah.
Who does that?
And it's like, I know, I get that it paints this picture to that whole corrupt buildup,
Oh,
but
I just remembered a review I read, and this
which
person
one?
was wrong in the review.
Oh, are you gonna? Do you have it? Do you
I
have it?
don't. It's
Well,
on
let me see
Goodreads.
if I can
Okay.
pull it. Hold
So
on,
they
I'm
wrote.
in Goodreads right now.
I don't remember where it was, but it's on Goodreads, and I remember I'm like, "Girl, did you not read the book?" Because So
Was it for the first one or for the second?
second book for the second
Okay.
one. So basically, towards the end, right when Hoth and Raven are fighting, right, and
Yeah.
everything, and Hoth is going for a Scythe card, and Raven grabs it, and he rips it in half, and Hoth is shocked, right, because Providence cards can't be destroyed, right? People have tried ripping
Right.
them, they don't. This person's like, well, Hoth could have just grabbed this and ripped it. No, Raven is the only one who can freaking do it, and he can only do
And
it to
it
cards that don't
explains
work
it
on
when
him.
he did it. When he did it, it was like there was an explanation in there that said the only reason why he could do it was because of this.
Well, and he can't do it to the cards he could still use. So he can't do it to the Nightmare card, and he can't do it to the Mirror card. But he could do it to all the other cards because they do not work on him. So therefore, they are just regular cards. So when the person wrote that review, part of me screamed internally, did you
Was it a
not
4-star,
understand?
3-star? Well, which one was it under?
I honestly don't remember, but I
Let me
was just,
see.
it made me like scratch my head like, did you not read this? Like the whole point of Raven, them saying, the Nightmare saying, like, you looked like my son, right? Like, you look
Yeah.
like my son. And
And
he
it talks about their
literally,
nose, their beak nose, and I mean,
and they have the same powers. They have the same magic. His son was the only one who the cards wouldn't work against, and his son can destroy cards. Like, so I'm thinking, this person, you read the book, but how did you miss this? Like, he's literally the only one. So literally, if Raven wanted to, he could go take Elm's card and rip it. More than likely. You know what I'm saying? So it's just,
yeah. I mean, and I do love
actually,
the
no, wait,
fact
scratch that. He
what
probably can't. Maybe over time he could. But it was just,
what I will say overall too, though, is I'm really happy that she did create a whole new environment
yeah.
in the sense that it wasn't this. She created a new level for it, so it wasn't just, oh, her and Raven got in a fight, and then then they rekindled it, and then they moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did they still do Elspeth and Raven dirty? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Well,
but
and if
she
anything,
created
just
a different story to it, and she added to it, which was good.
yes.
But I'm still searching through all these.
Yeah, I forgot to say, I read that review and I started laughing because I was like, no, Hoth cannot destroy Providence cards. Nobody can except for Raven. That's the whole point of his gift, like his magic, is when he can no longer use a card, he can destroy it. Like, it wasn't written out plainly, like, oh, when you can no longer use the card, you can destroy it. But I mean, come on, read between the lines. It's pretty much there.
Well, and that was the whole point of these riddles throughout the two stories.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think about them, and then when you start hearing them and things start playing out, it makes sense to you, and that's the whole point.
Yeah. Well, and then when he's like, at the end, when the Nightmare asked him, will you tell your family, like, their true last name and lineage? He's like, well, I don't know. Why not? Why not? You literally have nothing to lose or gain. Like, it'd be neat to find out, like, okay, there's this and that. But I thought it was neat. The little test to get to the Spirit of the Wood, man, poor Wick getting shot in the back of the head. I was like, that poor guy. And then like his
Yeah.
brother having to like go on without him essentially, you know, and they were like two peas in a pod. And it's all because those crazy people in the woods. Oh yeah. I'm just like, mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I don't think
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna find it honestly in a
I
list right now. In time for it to matter.
I don't think you'll find it, but I just thought I would tell you because I thought it
But
was funny
maybe we'll find it later and then you could just like throw it in there on like the top of the screen when
maybe
you're editing.
it was just funny because I was like, if you fully read the book, you should have understood that Raven is the one that can destroy the cards, no one else. Like if Hoth could have destroyed Ione's card so she couldn't get rid of her
Yeah.
magic, he would have destroyed the damn card. Instead, he
Yeah.
made her hide it, right? Like, which that's fucked up, man. He made her hide it, but there was still a little part of Ione that was there because she wanted to go back to being herself. She was not
Yeah.
happy with how she was under the maiden card, like how maybe some people were.
Well, and that's where it came into how they also played on the words like your intent behind it. Like these riddles
Yes.
had a lot of what was the intent of these individuals and how different the effects are for each one and why it played out differently.
Yeah. I thought it was really neat. I thought it was really neat. And how the maiden card didn't just make people beautiful, but it made them basically like immortal. I mean, if you think about it, because
Yeah.
they can't die. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you try to behead them or burn them alive, like, well, it might work, you know.
I don't know.
But you
Leave it
never
to Hoth, he'll
know.
test it out.
Well, yeah, there's no such thing as maiden cards, but you know, but I mean, if there was, I mean, I could work on this rosacea a little bit.
Well,
Yeah, I thought it was great. You know, there's certain parts like the spirit of the wood, like being that weird creature. I was like, not what I was expecting.
oh, you ready? Okay. Okay. All right.
All right, guys. So
Game
we
time.
would love to carry this on longer, but Britt has a football game to go to. So she's going to have fun. And I actually have to pumpkin patch to go to. We're taking my daughter. So it'll be her
Yay.
30-year going because she was only a couple months old when she first went. But this will be the first year where she could actually run around unassisted.
That'll be
Sean's
fun.
going to have fun.
Yeah. Leave it on him. Do it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to definitely put out another episode here. We are definitely going to be reviewing Iron Flame once it's out. So
yes, and we'll kind of throw some books out there for good, like fall winter reads, kind of going
you
into
have to
the
send me your
transition.
list.
Yes, I will. I'll work on that tomorrow.
Send me your list. I will put them. They will be on our TikTok and our Instagram. When she has it, I'll put a little video or a little picture for you guys. I'll have the list of books links. But we do have a Amazon book club page I created. We will put recommended.
We could put the list on there too, so it's easier to access.
Yes, we will put them on there. Always feel free to go in there and see books recommended. We just created it, so it's still a work in progress. But we will definitely have that link in there. So
yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys, for joining, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
All right. Bye.